You're listening to episode 41 of the Healthy Balanced Mama podcast. Living a healthy, balanced life as a mom can sometimes feel impossible. With tiny mouths to feed, butts to wipe, and so many things vying for our attention, it can be easy to feel like we're in an on-again, off-again relationship with healthy living. But it doesn't have to feel this way. I believe every mom is a super mom, and you deserve to feel like one too, and you don't have to go on another diet to do it. Join me, Kristin Dovbniak, holistic nutritionist and certified intuitive eating counselor, for conversations on what it means to live a healthy, balanced life. I want to help you uncomplicate eating, improve your relationship with food, and live like the supermama I know you are. Hey there, friends. Today is part 3 in my back to school series, the last part before we jump into regularly scheduled podcast episodes on Monday. You will definitely want to tune in on Monday as well. It is going to be a good one. I have an awesome guest that I'm going to have to kick off season 2 after this series. So if you haven't listened to the first 2 episodes in this series, in part 1, I talked at length about navigating transitions, especially the back to school transition. And in part 2, I talked about meal planning, specifically meal planning during the back to school season. So if you haven't listened to those, I encourage you to go ahead and listen to those. And today I want to talk about one big part of meal planning during back to school time. And I touched on this a little bit in the last episode, but we're going to dig in a little bit deeper today, and that is packing a lunchbox. I want to help you take the stress out of lunchbox packing, because I know that it can be one of those things we dread and we just send our kids with a couple bucks and they get school lunch every day. But we want to nourish our kids, and we want the kids to, eat food that tastes good to them and feels good to them. So packing a lunchbox can be important. So these are my best tips for stress-free lunchbox packing. And I should premise this with, I am not like the most experienced lunchbox packer, but my daughter has been going to preschool for the last 4 years or so. She'll be 6 in November, and she started when she was about 2. So it's been a little while of learning how to pack a lunchbox and not be stressed out about it. And if you hang around until the end, I have a surprise and a freebie for you. So let's jump in. Tip number one is to plan it out. So there is a whole school lunch planner over in the Supermama Society, but it doesn't have to be that complicated. Planning out your lunches for school can be as simple, or even yourself, can be as simple as just choosing your protein, your veggie, your fruit, and your snacks for the week, and just writing down a general idea of the things you need to have on hand to pack the lunch boxes. I'm all about uncomplicating food. It does not need to be complicated to give your kids nourishing food, but having a plan is important, because then you can go to the grocery store and make sure that you have those foods on hand. Same thing with planning dinners. So planning out your lunches, having a very simple plan for what you are going to make that week. And then when a plan works out, when your kids really like that meal, you can rotate the plan. You can keep that plan and you can do it again. So you're not feeling like you're constantly creating new lunchbox plans. This does not need to be a part-time job. You can just rotate the plans after you have a few. You know your kids like that meal. You can change up the veggies and fruit seasonally. But when you have some baseline things that your kids love, some protein options, main course options that your kids love, you can repeat those plans. So having a plan can benefit you in more way than one. Number one, it takes the stress out. Number two, it makes sure that you have the things on hand and saves you a little bit of money rushing to the grocery store. And number 3, saves you the stress by reusing those meal plans in the future. So in the same vein, number 2 would be to make a list of favorites. So make a list of the things that your kids really like to have in their lunchbox. For instance, my daughter really liked for a long time like veggie and cheese roll-ups. So I would make those often. But for a while, I kind of got into a rut of making her sandwiches. And then one day she was like, "Mommy, why do you never make me those roll-ups anymore?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I just forgotten about them. But kids crave variety. I realized when I was giving her a lot of sunflower butter sandwiches, she got bored of them and they started coming home only half eaten. And she wouldn't tell me because, she was only 4, so she just didn't eat it. And I was like, all right, I got to switch it up a little bit. So having a list of the things that they like, and these can be things like leftovers from dinner that that they like and they'll eat as leftovers too. It can be a soup they like and you want to send in a thermos. It can be meatballs. It can be roll-ups. It can be a yogurt that they really like and they'll always eat for a quick protein option if you're out of other ideas. It can be a great protein option. It doesn't have to be your last resort. Just using that as an example. So having a list of favorites, just like you have a family favorites list for dinner if you listen to my meal planning episode, having just a list of favorites so you can post that on your fridge or keep it in your meal planning binder or in your Healthy Mama meal planner, wherever you keep your plans for your meals and your recipes. Just have a list of their favorite lunches. Tip number 3 is to choose 2. So each week we choose 2 proteins and those are part of our main dish. So this can be, like I said before, this can be something like a leftover is one of our proteins. It can be something like a deli meat is one of our proteins. Meatballs, egg cups, yogurt, cheese. If you're doing like mini pizzas, cheese can be your protein. So just choose 2 different options so you're not feeding them the same exact thing every day. Some kids like that. Some kids are creatures of habits and they get the same thing every day. And that is totally okay if that is your style and you want to give them the same thing every day. But for kids who like a little bit more variety, I know I like more variety, so some kids do too. Choose 2 protein options, whatever that might be, 2 veggie options, this might change seasonally, and 2 fruit options. And so then you can mix and match those throughout the week. So the meals don't look exactly the same, but it's simplifying it for you. And that is the name of the game when taking the stress out of packing a lunchbox, is just to simplify it. Tip number 4 is to have snacks on hand to pick and choose. So this is one way we can add a lot of variety to lunchboxes as well, is to have a variety of snacks that your kids like to pick and choose. And I actually have a blog post and corresponding video coming out on Monday all about our favorite packaged kid snacks because, as I'll talk about in tip number 5, it's okay to eat some packaged foods. Obviously, real food is, the goal. Eating more real whole foods is the goal. But it's okay to have some packaged snacks because I don't know about you, but I am not over here churning my own butter and I do want to get back into making my own yogurt. But I'm not over here making everything from scratch. As much as I enjoy cooking and I enjoy feeding my family real foods, having a variety of snacks on hand that are easy to grab and pick and choose and add variety, and this is something I like to have my kids pick out too. What do you want your 2 snacks to be to go along with your meal? And I'm allowing them to choose. And this is a way that you can encourage their autonomy and intuitive eating as well, where, they get to choose the protein, veggies, and fruit, or maybe you choose the protein, they choose the veggies and fruit, getting them involved in some way. And then they get to pick their snacks to go in their lunchbox. You do the main thing, make sure that they've got their protein, their veggie, and their fruit, and they're, hopefully eating it. And if not, that's okay too, not sweating that because, just like we have different preferences day to day, so do they. And allowing them to have some choice in that too, but having them on hand is key. So we like to get some snacks from the bulk food store, having some, I know most schools don't allow nuts now, but we love Lara bars, and so Lara bars are great. Things like, Annie's cheddar bunnies, applesauce packets, Snap Pea crisps, things like that, having those things on hand for quick snacks. And so check out that blog post and video on Monday. So this would be the Monday after this airs, which is actually Friday the 13th. So that'll be Monday the 15th. So if you're listening to this in the future, then, or I guess this is the past. You're listening to this in the past, then it's already up in the blog. And that's just healthymamakris.com/blog. So tip number 5 goes along with tip number 4, something I started talking about, and that's don't be afraid to cut corners. Sometimes you need to cut corners to make lunch happen a little bit easier. Sometimes you don't want to make something as complicated as like mini pizzas. It's okay to, buy something that's pre-made as long as it works with your budget. Maybe you don't want to make your own homemade hummus this week, then buy the hummus. It's okay. I want to encourage you to eat more real whole foods and to nourish your family in the best way you know how. But, all foods fit in a healthy, balanced life, and that's what I'm all about. I'm all about intuitive eating and making peace with all types of foods, and the same thing goes for your kids. So if you need to include some convenience foods, some pre-cooked chicken, some, chicken sausage, some meatballs, something like that, as long as you're making the lunches happen, Cut corners where you need to in order to make the lunches happen and to take the stress out, because ultimately we want to take the stress out of living a healthy, balanced life, because that's what balance is all about. It's about not stressing and making living a healthy life work for you. Hey mama friend, I'm interrupting this episode to ask you what I think is a really important question. What does living your healthiest, happiest mama life look like? What does it look like for you to show up as the best version of yourself for your family? What does that woman look like? How does she live? How does she feel? If you are in a space where you desire to live your healthiest, happiest mama life, and if you're here, that's probably you. I want to help you reach your goals and live your healthiest, happiest mama life, whatever that looks like for you. Whether you need advice on simply starting to eat more real food and tune better into your body and find what feels good to you, honor your hunger and fullness, eat healthy but be satisfied by the foods that you eat and eat foods that you actually like. Serve yourself and your family healthy foods. Go for an ice cream cone without guilt or shame. Mama, I want to help you reach your goals and beyond. I want to help you show up as the best version of yourself for your family, because your family deserves the very best version of you. And so do you, Mama. And that is why I created the Supermama Society. The Supermama Society is a monthly membership program, but we only open registration 3 times a year because I want to create a community with the moms in the membership so we can support and encourage each other on whatever our goals are in living our healthiest mama life. Whether you are someone who is new to the world of healthy eating or you are ready to ditch the diet dogma, tune better into your intuition, and simplify your nutrition, the Supermama Society is for you. With monthly videos from me coaching you on topics that moms are looking for, like learning how to cope with their emotions without using food, honor hunger and fullness, eat the foods they like without guilt or shame, and serve their families healthy, nourishing foods so they can feel their best, be energized, and show up for their life. It also includes podcast-style audios just like this that you can take on the go with you, exclusive to Supermama Society members. Access to my Intuitive Mama 5-day audio program introducing you to the principles of intuitive eating so you can learn to tune into your body as a mom, as well as access to my entire ebook and printable library with things like meal planning and meal prep printables, simplified guides to living your healthiest life beyond dieting. Mama, it is time for you to show up as the absolute best version of you for your family, whatever that looks like, whatever your goals are. The Supermama Society is here for you. And we are only open now through September 15th. So head to supermamasociety.com to choose the option that's best for your family. You can join monthly, quarterly, or yearly with special bonuses, including my Healthy Mama Meal Prep program, which is an $89 program that you get included with your yearly membership. Just another way that you can simplify nutrition and feed your family nourishing foods without the stress. So head to supermamasociety.com, choose your option, and join us so you can live your healthiest, happiest mama life. Tip number 6 is one of my favorite things I did in the last 2 years, and that's to have a lunchbox packing station. So I have a drawer in my kitchen that's sort of a bonus drawer. It's a really big drawer. I don't know what other people would use this for because it's a big drawer. And so if you don't have something like this, I'm sure you can make it work in your kitchen or use bins. But I have the kids' lunchboxes, thermoses, stasher bags, which are my favorite reusable bags, as well as I think they're called Rezips, some little snack bags, little food picks, which are cute and I found on Amazon for like $3, and a couple other little accessories. I have the magnets for the Planet Box lunchboxes, which are our favorite lunchboxes. We like Planet Box and Bent Go, so we have both of those. Plastic for the little one, metal for the big kid. Once Ren goes to like I guess like a pre-K program, we'll graduate her to the Planet Box, but right now she can't open her own lunchbox, so it doesn't make sense, and she doesn't eat that much food. But anyway, having all of those ingredients on hand, those things on hand that you need for packing the lunchbox, as well as having the snacks right there ready to go, means all I have to do in the morning is reach in, take out the lunchboxes, open them up, have the kids pick a couple snacks, put those aside, and then if I've meal prepped, it's literally just like throw the things in the lunchbox, put an ice pack in there, and we're good to go. So talk about simplifying. That absolutely helps me simplify. But also, just having the things on hand so I can quickly make the lunches, so I'm not searching around for different pieces. At the end of the night, when the dishes are done, everything goes back into that drawer, and so it's easy, simple. Mornings are less stressful. So if you get one thing out of this podcast, have a lunchbox packing station. It's awesome. And tip number 7, I already talked about this, but get the kids involved when it comes to packing their lunches. You can give them that autonomy of being able to make choices for themselves. Ask them what types of protein, veggies, and fruit that they like. You're already going to hopefully have that list of their favorite foods, but ask them what they want this week. And as long as it's within reason, try and honor that. And if you don't want to go that far, that's okay. Have them pick their snacks. And just getting them involved, because they're much more likely to eat the foods if they're a part of the process. Or have them help you with meal prep and chop up, or peel the carrots. And if they're old enough, maybe chop them up for lunches. So you're getting them involved. And they'll be so excited. Sage loves to help me make things like energy balls and to do things like peel carrots and get dressings put together and things like that. So she has a part in making her lunch, and she's not even 6. So whatever your kids' ages are, a lot of kids get excited about helping out. So I encourage you to do that and involve them in the lunchbox packing process. So I hope these tips were helpful for you today. I know this is a little bit of a quicker episode, but I just wanted to give you a few tips on stress-free lunchbox packing and let you know that there are so many more tips in the Supermama Society this month, because we are talking all about lunches and having, stress-free lunchbox packing, not just for kids, but for grown-ups as well, and how to create a healthy lunchbox and make that work for your family. But I have something I am so excited to announce, something I've been working on for the past 3 months, the whole summer. I've been dreaming up and deciding what it would look like. It was a request from our beta testers of the Supermama Society way back in April. And I have been working with some friends and with my little one to make it a reality. Because if there is one thing I get asked more than anything in my community, it's then what do I feed my kids? Or how do I get my kids to eat at all? And I get it, Mama. As a mom of 2 myself, I know kids can be crazy around food. And listen, I want to help you feel less crazy about feeding your kids. Because here is the thing. I believe that what is just as important as the food on your kids' plates or in their lunchbox is their relationship with food. We want to raise kids who are nourished and excited about enjoying healthy, real foods, but also confident in their ability to listen to their bodies and make choices that serve them. And this is why I created the Super Kids Collective. The Super Kids Collective is a Supermama Society membership add-on to help you learn to nourish your kids' bodies and brains around food. With monthly kid-friendly recipes, tips, and tricks to get your kids involved in the cooking process, and a monthly video or audio lesson all about cultivating healthier, happier, more intuitive kids, as well as a community of other moms who desire to raise healthy, happy, balanced kids. The Super Kids Collective is here to help you do just that. As I believe, as moms, we have this incredible ability to raise up the next generation of nourished, empowered eaters. But it starts with us, and it starts with the example that we set. So the Super Kids Collective will launch on September 30th as an add-on at a discounted rate to your Supermama Society membership if you're already a member or you're thinking about becoming a member, or you can purchase it separately. It's much smaller than the Supermama Society, so like I said, it's an add-on. There will be one video or audio plus new recipes and tips every single month, all exclusive to Super Kids Collective members. But Supermama Society members get a sneak peek of the Super Kids Collective for free this month, launching on Monday. So if you're already a member, yay, you get a sneak peek on Monday, but you also still have until the 15th to sign up. So you have the whole weekend to sign up as a Supermama Society member, either monthly for less than $15 a month, quarterly, or yearly with some some added yearly bonuses. You get access to my full Healthy Mama meal prep program, which is an $89 program included with your yearly membership to the Supermama Society. So if you are interested in the Super Kids Collective or the Supermama Society, head to supermamasociety.com to learn more and join in. And dun, 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 I told you that I was going to have a surprise for you at the end and a freebie. So if you click the link in the show notes, you can get a free Simplified Lunchbox guide, and you will also get on the list for the Super Kids Collective. So you will find out as soon as it launches. And like I said, this month in the Supermama Society, we have a ton more tools for kids and mamas, all about packing lunches that nourish your kids and also taste good, and also on making lunches ahead of time and packing lunches that are going to fuel your day, because midday is prime time to fuel the rest of your day. So I hope you found this helpful, friends. That is a wrap of my Back to School series. Thank you so much for tuning in to these first 3 episodes of the season 2 of the Healthy Balanced Mama podcast. I'm so excited to kick it off like this, kick it off with a really exciting announcement, and then dig into some really, really incredible guests. So I cannot wait to have you hop in again on Monday for an awesome guest I am so excited to share. Be sure to head to supermamasociety.com to learn more about the Supermama Society and the Super Kids Collective. And feel free to reach out via email, Chris@healthymamachris.com. Find me over on Instagram at healthymamachris, or Facebook, Healthy Mama Chris, or in the Healthy Mama Life community to connect with me there, ask questions, or send requests for guests here on the podcast. I love to hear from you. I want this to be a community. I want this podcast to be something that is for you. So please connect with me. And friends, if you would do me a huge favor by just giving me a star rating and a review over on iTunes or on your podcast provider, that helps me to be seen and heard by more moms that need to hear this message of living a healthy, balanced life without restriction and simplifying your nutrition, tuning into your intuition, and creating habits that last for life. So if any of these podcasts, either in season 2, whether you're brand new or you listened through season 1, resonated with you, I would really appreciate it if you just took a couple minutes and help this podcast to be seen and heard by more moms. All right, friends, I will see you in the next episode. Thank you, friends, so much for listening to this episode of the Healthy Balanced Mama podcast. I truly hope it encouraged and inspired you today to live a healthier life without restriction. If you enjoyed this podcast, would you do me a huge favor and give it a star rating and review in iTunes? Every rating, review, and subscribe helps this podcast be seen and heard by more women who need to hear it. You can find me, Kristin, on Instagram and Facebook at Healthy Mama Chris, or on my website, healthymamachris.com. And don't forget to join us in the newly launched Supermama Society, a monthly membership to help you tune in to your intuition and nourish yourself without restriction, to live like the supermama I know you are. As a reminder, the information and opinions on this podcast are intended for information and inspiration only and are not a substitute for professional medical advice or treatment. Please consult with your healthcare practitioner before making any changes. Have a beautiful day, friends.